Alright, what's going on everybody? This is Z Street 3 here, back with a brand new video. And it is a final episode, let's pause that, to our college football recap series. So it's a bit of a bittersweet moment here on this video. Those of you that aren't aware, most of this has been a gaming channel, but for the past 3 years in a row, I have shared my love of March Madness with you guys, which is the men's college basketball tournament. 64 teams, one team in a bracket wins it. And those videos have done somewhat okay, I suppose. And I kind of just update every game, every day, talk about, the upsets, the big time scores, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, I love college football too, so why not do it for college football? Now, in college football, there's a bit less games, so it's easier to just go over the top 25 games of the week. Whereas in college basketball, there's hundreds of games, and that would be impossible to cover because there's so lot many instead of like college football. There's like 16 or sorry, not 16. There's like 13 weeks or 10 weeks or 11 weeks or whatever. And so I covered each week of, okay, here's the top 25 preseason, wins, losses, people that were unranked, now ranked. And it was the first year of the college football playoff, expanded edition. Instead of 14, there's now 12. And in my personal opinion, this has been one of the best years of college football in a long time. We had a lot of teams in the college football playoff, throughout the bracket here, that we did not expect to make it. Like Arizona State was picked bottom of their conference, and they won the Big 12 in their first year, and they were 4 seed with a bye. We had SMU coming in, a non-Power 5 team joining the Power 5 conference of the ACC, and almost winning it, losing it to Clemson by 3, a last-minute field goal. They're in it. Penn State is in it. Boise State, the former heavyweight of the Power 5 teams that have beat teams like Oklahoma in big-time bowl games in the past, or a 3 seed. Indiana, a team that for the vast majority of its history has sucked at football, in it. People were saying, "Oh, it's not fair. It's because no, it's 12 seed teams." Blah blah blah. Hey, look, at the end of the day, you win or lose. Like for instance, Oregon. They're talking about how Oregon goes undefeated, wins the Big Ten their first ever year in it, and they get the short end of the stick because look who they're playing: Texas, Clemson, Arizona State, Tennessee, Ohio State. Now, on paper, this seems a lot more difficult of a route than this. Is that true? Probably. But at the end of the day, you beat Ohio State once. Surely you can do it again. You just got to win the games. And if you don't win the games, then you don't win the games. And you don't deserve to be a national champion. That's the way it is. You're like, oh, there's a conference champion that has 2 losses, should not be in the playoffs. Yet Ohio State still won the championship. So, like, if you want to cry about it, you should have beat them. Is my frank opinion on that. We are covering each week of season, and then we covered the first few games here, and then I decided to leave the final 4, so to speak, for a video in itself. And we're going to be doing more of a deep dive into these games here, these final 3 games. As you know, I am a Texas fan, so let's go ahead and cover Penn State and Notre Dame first. Now, let's go ahead and pull up this game. Let's make sure that it is. Okay, so let's pause that. This was, at first, a very defensive-minded game. Um, I personally felt that both of these teams are probably not going to score a lot of points. This is going to come into who gets the ball last scenario. Riley Leonard from Notre Dame, a very good dual threat quarterback. Honestly, more successful running the ball than he is throwing the ball. Drew Aller, Penn State people believe that he's the quarterback that's going to elevate it to the next step and allow them to beat teams like Michigan and Ohio State and go to the championships. Both teams have great running backs. Penn State has 2 great running backs. The other guy's name, but they're both very, very good. Both could be. In fact, both of these players at the end of the season were 1,000-yard. Both had 1,000 yards rushing, which has not happened in a long time. You have 2 of them on one team is very impressive. Like they would both get a starting job almost anywhere in the country, and would be probably have maybe 500 more rushing yards apiece, if not more. Jordan Love also a really good running back. These both the teams were more running oriented. Now, in the first half, it was all Penn State. They were running it up Notre Dame's throat, and everything they could do was great blocking, great moves outside. Like Penn State could not stop them. It was a ground and pound type of game, and Notre Dame could not do anything offensively. They got a late minute field goal. In fact, Riley Leonard got hurt. People thought it was concussion protocol, and so they brought in their backup. And their backup is not a dual threat at all. He's a pocket passer. So Notre Dame had to change its entire offensive scheme from read options and mostly running and unit back runs to pocket passing and throwing it in, trying to find the gaps in the coverage, and it worked. They they literally obliterated the Penn State defense and just opened like a gashed wound, just picking them apart. The backup quarterback just picked them apart left, right, and center, and they drove down the field and got a field goal, and that was huge for momentum because instead of being down 2 scores at the half, they put on some points. And then the third by Leonard does not have a concussion. He comes back in and they score 7. And then in that fourth quarter, everything explodes offensively. Penn State scores 14. Notre Dame scores 17. That's 31 points in one quarter. However, still a pretty low scoring game, so it's be 27-24. And a back and forth thriller, as they say. Um, Interesting fact about Penn State, what they decided to do. Again, having an array of success offensively running the ball, Notre Dame had no answer for that. And in the second half, they decided to only run the ball 5 times. It's no joke. They ran the ball on only 5 plays in the second half and instead decided to let Aller start throwing it a bit, which was a big mistake because at the end of the game, Notre Dame comes back. They're up. Penn State, however, still has a chance to go down the field, march down the field, and win the game. Drew Aller, there was an errant pick, interception, game over. And as you can see here by his stats, only 12-23. That's just above 50%, which was really bad. I mean, Riley Leonard, near the same, but cleared 3 more passes and had 2 interceptions. Riley Leonard had 2 interceptions. And Penn State still found a way to win this game. If Penn State would have ran the ball down the road all game long, and Drew Aller didn't even throw less than this, if you just run ground and pound the whole game, I think Penn State wins this game. But kudos to Notre Dame. They have really good defense. Really, really good defense. And they came back and won this game. Let's go into the Texas game. Now, this game was an absolute incredible game to watch. Fortunate ending. Now, as we know, Ohio State has outscored opponents, I think 49-0 in the first quarter alone, and they come out and they get swing and they get the touchdown the very first drive, I believe, versus Texas, and then Texas responds with a touchdown of their own. Now, this was Texas' game plan against Ohio State. They knew when Ohio State played Tennessee and Oregon, they were getting whatever they wanted. They were throwing over the top, big breakaway plays, big open space plays, 1, 2, 3 passes, touchdown, boom, like that. Texas decided to play soft. They were going to keep all their defenders back and give them the short. So Ohio State did really great offensively, low-key. They were picking apart Texas, quote unquote. It was slow, methodical drives of maybe 5, 6 yards every pass, maybe 10 max. They did not get a 40-yard, 50-yard, even 30-yard probably pass, I think, the entire game. It was all just slow, methodical 5, 6 yard passes at a time. And then once they got within the red zone, then they can tighten those gaps and then make it really tough. And it worked, honestly. It really worked. They stifled the Ohio State defense. Sorry, Ohio State offense. They could get to the end of the field, but they couldn't get past it. They couldn't finish it because once there was less room to operate, then you just close those gaps and you tighten up, and they had no shot whatsoever. So Texas responds. And in the second half, Ohio State has the ball. And so Texas goes way back and prevent, thinking they're gonna pass the ball. No, they do a screen pass, and he's got 15 yards of coverage, and he's got 3 offensive linemen with 15 yards of coverage, and they go block for him, and he goes, it's like a 60-yard, 70-yard house call, and then boom, it's 14-7 instead of 7-7. That was really, really bad. Texas responds in the third. Again, they start working well. You can see Quinn Ewers, 283 yards, decent game, 2 touchdowns. He actually played. I think he played really well. However, it was the rushing attack for Texas that was limited massively. They could not run the ball at all this game. Texas responds in the third, and it's a very tight defensive battle. Okay, now Arch Manning went in on a 4th and 1 rushing play, or a 3rd-and-1, and we got it. Texas has the ball. They're looking in the 4th quarter, mind you, to tie the ball game up. Excuse me, to take the lead. No, let me think. Sorry, no. Ohio State goes and scores. Okay, so they're up 7 at this point. So Texas is looking to tie the ball game up. Okay, they're in the red zone, the goal line. First play, Texas decides to, instead of run the ball every single time down their throats, where you put Arch Manning into a read option, they pass it on the first play, incomplete. Second play, rush, nothing. Third play, sorry, second play, a rush. Instead of up the middle, they decide to do it to the outside, a toss, which loses 7 yards. Okay, and the next play, now they have to throw. Quinn Ewers steps back again, not mobile, hurt ankle, never really very mobile. He then gets strip sacked by Jack Sawyer, who then picks up that sack and takes it 80 yards down the house. Game over. And then Quinn Ewers has to start throwing an errant interception. Game over. Ohio State wins by 14 points. Now, let's do a what if scenario. Is Ohio State going to stop Texas 4 times in a row? They don't even have to put Arch Manning in for read option. Just shove it down their throats with the ball. With Weisner or Gibson, who's very, very much. I would say put in Gibson because he's more of a strong. They call him Baby Rhino, so he's more of your power back. But him or Weisner in, just down their throats 4 times, or putting Arch Manning read option. If the defender bites, pick it up, and then Arch Manning, he uses athleticism and size. He's a really big dude. A touchdown. Let's say Ohio State does stop them 4 times. They don't have the ball on the 1, and then more often than not, it's very hard to get the ball out of that situation. So let's say they do stop them, and Texas can get the ball back. But they even get a safety. Who knows? This was Texas. I mean, Texas had the game in the palm of its hand. You go score, you tie it, play defense. They weren't moving the ball at all that second half. I firmly believe that if this game would have went into overtime, Texas would have won because their defense worked really well in shorter fields. Their defensive scheme was working really well in shorter fields. Ohio State could do nothing to do against it. I said this in the very beginning of the year. I thought that the national championship would be played versus Ohio State and Texas. Now they're not playing the championship, playing the semifinals. So I said, whoever wins this game is going to win the championship, and I was proven right. I really do think that either team would have beat Notre Dame. To be frank, honestly, Notre Dame came back versus Ohio State. I think if Texas would have played them, it would have been an even bigger blowout. I think both teams had the potential to blow up Notre Dame out. I just think that Texas Longhorns overall was the better team. They weren't the better team that day, but on paper they're the better team. I think their defense would have absolutely obliterated Notre Dame. In truth, I think they would have known that they're going to have to run it because they have no chance of throwing it against Texas. So yeah, Texas lost themselves in that championship here. But next year we got Arch Manning coming in, so excited about that. But let's go ahead and go into the championship game. At first, it was not that close. So the very first drive, Notre Dame goes down the field, 75 yards, vast majority QB run of the play. 75 yards, boom, touchdown. We're here. Notre Dame saying, hey, we're here. We can score. This is not going to be a blowout. And then the next three drives, they get 21 total yards. And Ohio State puts up 21 answer points. And everybody was like, uh-oh, it's going to be a blowout. 21-7. Then they score another touchdown. It's 28-7. And everybody's like, yep, it's a blowout. And then things start to change a little bit. Notre Dame gets a touchdown, gets an and one, only down. Then they get a stop. And then, actually, they get a fumble recovery. And they get the ball. In the red zone, they get stopped. They go for a field goal, and it doinks off the side. They would have gotten that field goal to be 31-18, right? Because they stop them again and get the ball back. Let's say, sorry, so they say they get the field goal. It's 31, I think, 31-18. See, they got that other touchdown. Now it's 26-31. Is that right? They get that stop. Now there was a play. It was like 3rd and 11. So they decided to do a play, and they get Jeremiah Smith one-on-one. He blitzes by his dude, wide open. Gets finally tackled, I think, about the 10-yard line. It was like a 40-yard, 30-yard plus passing play. Now, if Notre Dame would have been able to stop that and had that field goal, if they drive down the field and get a touchdown, that's game over. So this people say, oh, this was stupid, this was a bad game, Notre Dame had no chance. Yes, they did. One or two more plays, that's the difference between most games. Is even if a score is over 10 points, this was a one or two possession game. One or two plays go Notre Dame's win, and they could win this game, or at least be within one score of, okay, final seconds, they're in the red zone throwing it in for a touchdown. If they get it in, they win. If they don't, type of thing. It was a beautiful game. Notre Dame did not give up. They played very well. Their defense is very good. Same with Ohio State. They played very well. Will Howard transferred from Kansas State, had never beat Texas. Kansas State was 0-3 against them, beat them at Ohio State. Ohio State, people are calling for Ryan Day's head because they lost to Oregon last seconds, and they lost to Michigan at home, a Michigan team that wasn't even ranked, was barely at 500, and then they go and win the championship, and his life is saved. Um, Funny thing about this, Ohio State won the championship in 2014, the first year that the college football playoff was created, and then they won the very first one of the expanded. But it was a great year, one of the best years in recent memory. I personally love the 12 football. Personally love the 12-team playoff. I think it worked really, really well this year as we see a number 8 and 7 seed in the championship. That's insane. That's really cool. I love it. Because think about this: if we would have bet only four teams, we would have had Oregon, Boise State, Georgia, and Arizona State. That sounds like a horrible championship. Horrible championship. I love this 12-team playoff, and I think it's here to stay. I think it's perfect. Don't need to change it. No need to add. No need to reduce. 12 is perfect. People are like, oh, you need to remove the buys. No, it's perfect. You're just sad. You're just mad that your team lost. But like I said, this is a bittersweet ending because this is the end of the season, so we gotta wait till next fall for more videos. Hope you enjoyed the series. I certainly did. I appreciate all support on the series as well. Um, I will definitely be doing it next year. Also wanted to gauge interest. Something that I've been talking about is doing more sports videos, not just having recaps. What if I was actually watching a game? Whether it's I probably limit it to teams I want to play. I like if it's a Texas football game, instead of just doing the end of the game analysis of the whole week. I would obviously I can't record the game because that's illegal, and I would get sued. But be a video of me watching the game, and I would be doing live commentary as if I was one of the announcers for CBS or ESPN or whatever. And then we would watch it together in a way. And let's say a viewer, I'll actually probably be live streaming it on Twitch and upload that live stream to YouTube. So if you guys want to go follow my Twitch, Twitch is where I record my videos of Skyrim. Mostly every video game I play, I live stream on Twitch first and then upload that stream to YouTube. So I'll be doing that. But sports, so I'll be watching the Texas game live. I'll be watching a Duke basketball game live, or I'll be watching the NFL playoffs right now are going on. I'll be watching an NFL playoff game live, and I'll be watching it and then commentating on it as if I was the announcer, play-by-play, as well as just stuff about the team. So if you think that was a good idea, leave a like on the video, as well if you enjoy this series. Comment down below if you'd like to see that. Again, it'll be on my Twitch channel, which you can find on the description of my YouTube channel. And yeah, that's going to be it for this day's video. It's going to be it for the series. Again, a bittersweet ending. This is one of my favorite series I've ever done. I love college football. I think it's vastly superior to the NFL. But yeah, again, leave a like if you enjoyed, and leave a like if you want to see a commentary. Go follow my Twitch. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. And subscribe for more content. Got more Skyrim coming for foreseeable future. Might try to switch it up with some more other games, but we'll see. Anyways, Thanks for watching, guys. This is Easier 3 signing out. As always, stay frosty.